Good morning, everyone. First, I would like to welcome all of you to the virtual Board of Director meeting of Maju Vertical Berhad. Thank you, everyone, for attending on time. Before we start the meeting, I would like to introduce myself. I am Tan Sri Yusof bin Jalil, the chairman of this meeting. We have a lot of agenda to discuss today, so I hope everyone here is in a good health and condition to give full attention for our meeting today. Before we begin our board meeting, I would like to remind that our 35th annual general meeting will be held very soon. Therefore, there will be a few agendas to discuss today that we will bring to the annual general meeting. Without further delay, I would like to introduce the company secretary, Ms. Fauzana, to the first confirm the attendance of the quorum and if there is any absence today.
Alright, Tan Sri. Okay, for your information, we must meet the quorum in order to pass the resolution in this board meeting. Since every director is present in the meeting and it's meet the minimum number fixed by the board and also the majority of the directors, therefore the quorum is fulfilled. Then there is an apology from our auditor who is absent from the meeting today. So far, that's all. I think we can proceed with the meeting today.
Thank you, Ms. Fauzana. Given that required quorum is present, I would like to begin this meeting by introducing the fellow directors. So first is Datuk Bokta Haji Dasuki. Second is Mr. Yoh Waso. And third, Mrs. Puan Sri Lim Tengi. And the last one is Datuk Nathan Nai.
Alright, thank you, Tan Sri. For information, this meeting will be recorded as evidence. Kindly make sure your smartphone is all in silent mode so that does not interrupt this meeting. Also make sure you have a good internet connection and mute your mic when you don't have to speak. And please keep turning on your camera during this meeting.
Alright, thank you, Ms. Fauzana. Before I proceed further, I will pass this meeting to our secretary, Ms. Fauzana, to explain more about today's meeting.
Yes, my pleasure, Tan Sri. This purpose of the meeting was stated in the agenda, including discussion the important decision for all the necessary resolution. So our agenda today are as follow. The first one is to get director approval for audited financial statement and approval reported or statement related to financial statement. The second is to finalize the retirement and discussion re-election director of other company. The third one is a finalized fees and benefits to director. The fourth is a discussion on resignation of auditor and nomination of auditor firm. The fifth is to obtain authority to issue share under Company Act 2016 on Section 75 and 76. The sixth is to discuss the circulation to shareholders in respect of amendment of the Constitution. The seventh is the indemnity for Mr. Yoh Waso. The eighth is to discuss the letter of demand for our subsidiary Maju Bina Sendirian Berhad. The ninth is the review notice of AGM and authorized secretary to issue notice. The 10th is the other matters. So for the voting proceed held later, when you are asked by Tan Sri to vote on the resolution, please raise your hand in front of your screen if you agree. Our director has one vote. So does anyone have any question before we move to the first agenda? If no, then we will proceed with it. All right, Tan Sri.
Okay. So the first agenda is to review and approve audited financial statement for the financial year end 2021. So I will pass to Mr. Nathan to explain details on this item.
Okay, thank you, Tan Sri. Regarding the audited financial statement, after being examined and verified by the auditor, they approve our financial report and present it in a true and fair view.
Can you explain in detail regarding this matter?
Of course, Tan Sri. Actually, our audited team had verified an audited financial report, financial statement and report, as well as the Board of Director report for 2021. So based on the auditor's opinion, they believe that Maju Vertical Berhad had obtained sufficient and appropriate evidence for all transactions occurring in order to conclude that Maju Vertical Berhad report provide a true and fair view. To explain in detail, the company income statement, financial position, cash flow and changes in equity for the financial year end are in accordance with MFRS and the requirements of the Company Act 2016 in Malaysia. In addition, the board is pleased to report on the application of the Principle of Malaysian Corporate Governance 2017 and the extent of compliance with the recommendations of the court during the financial year ended.
Thank you, Mr. Nathan, for your presentation on our audited financial statements. I totally understand it. How about other directors? Does anyone have any questions?
No problem. Everything has been clarified.
Yes, I am already clear with the presentation just now. Thank you.
As everyone clear, now we have the voting for the approved audited financial statements.
Okay.
So if everyone agree, you can raise your hand.
Okay, it seems everyone was agree with it. So the audited financial statement was approved. Tan Sri.
Okay then, for the report or the statement related to financial statement for the year end 31st December 2021, I believe everyone had read and reviewed it before this meeting. Does anyone has any comment or opinion regarding the report or statement?
Regarding this report or statement, I agree that it has been followed a appropriate accounting standard and demonstrated good disclosure. This is because it follows and applies almost all the principle, practice and guideline in the Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay,
Can you repeat again?
Okay. Okay, yes, that's right. We have applied all board leadership and effectiveness with effective board responsibility, composition and remuneration, very effective audit and risk management with a strong audit committee and internal control have produced accurate and true financial report and statement.
Okay, is there any other opinion or questions from this report or statement?
No, Tan Sri.
We are satisfied with all the information disclosed in the notes of the financial statement.
Alright, let's vote for this resolution. If you agree and approve of the report or the statement related to the financial statement for the year end 31st December 2021, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you for your cooperation. To conclude, hereby I declare that the resolution to approve the audited financial statement and reports or statements related to the financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2021 of the company is passed. Thus, the audited financial statement will be presented in our next AGM. So, Ms. Fauzana, please note it has been resolved.
Alright, not it, Tan Sri.
Our second agenda for this meeting is discussing on the retirement and re-election of the director for the upcoming annual general meeting. We will discuss the re-election and retirement of the directors and finalize it today, where 1/3 of our directors is going to be retired during the coming AGM, right, Ms. Fauzana?
Yes, Tan Sri. We should propose 2 persons among our 4 directors to retire during the AGM. According to the provision of the Company Act 2016 under Section 205 Sub 3 Sub B, every subsequent year, 1/3 of the member of the Board of Directors of the member closer to 1/3, if their number is not 3 or a multiple of 3 shall be retired from the Board of Directors during AGM. Thus, we must decide who should be retired from the board this year.
How do we determine who retired? Can you explain to us, Ms. Fauzana?
Of course. As for all information, we will have 2 directors that are going to retire for this AGM. Now I will explain the condition of the retirement of these 2 directors. Firstly, according to Section 205 Sub 4 of the Company Act 2016, The retirement of the director must be the director who have the served longest in the office since the director's last election. So in our list of director, Tan Sri Yusof Jalil, who was served longest at his last election is in 2019, will be retired. While for the second retirement is Mr. Nathanael, who was appointed by the director before the AGM held under section 203 sub 3 sub A. The additional director will be selected for the retirement in the coming AGM. Thereby, according to Section 205 Sub 5 Company Act 2016, a retirement of a director shall be qualified for re-election as long as he is not disqualified under this Act. In addition, the company may appoint any person who is qualified to fill a casual vacancy at the AGM when a director retires. However, if there is no appointment to fill casual vacancy and the director offer himself for re-election, he may be re-elected unless the company resolve not to fill in the vacated office or the resolution to re-elect the director did not get the majority of the loss.
Thank you for your explanation and suggestion. May I know if there is any suggested person to be a new elect for our director, or do we agree to re-elect Mr. Nathaniel again? And for the time being, we resolve not to fill the vacancy.
I agree to re-elect Mr. Nathanael as a director.
Yes, I agree too.
As for me, I also agree with the decision.
Since everyone agrees for Mr. Nathan to be re-elected as the director, I declare that the company resolved not to fill the vacated office for the time being. Now we will continue to discuss the third agenda. Okay, now let's move to the next agenda, which is the discussion and recommendation on director's fee and benefits. I already discussed this matter with the remuneration committee, and they propose to maintain the director's remuneration since we have experienced difficulties due to the impact of the COVID-19. So any comments or suggestion on this matter?
I'm sorry, Tan Sri. In my opinion, I would like to suggest that the total fees for financial year ended 31 December 2021 and benefit for upcoming year of directors should be increased, as we as director have contributed a lot of effort toward the achievement and performance of the company and the financial statement for this year compared to the previous year.
But for me, I agree with our remuneration committee's suggestion to maintain the director's remunerations at the same amount as the previous financial year. For fees of the financial year ended 31 December 2021, which is 346,700, and benefit to directors for the coming year, which is up to 986,500. This is because, in my opinion, it is better if we keep the extra money available for emergency case, use in the future, because of the many challenges and difficulty times that our company likely to face during this globalization, including the COVID-19 pandemic.
True, I agree with this. Our financial statement may have improved compared to last year. We need to have a sufficient amount of saving for any contingency that may be used in the future due to the uncertain economic stability for the time being. Raising director fees and benefits will then result in higher expenditure costs, which will probably cost our company a lot.
Yes, we as a board of directors need to make the best decision in reducing the company's operating costs. So, it is appropriate for the company for coming year. We should not raise director benefit as it will increase the company cost. For now, we must prioritize the company ability to sustainability and continuous improvement. When things getting better and the company performance grows more effectively, I think at that time it was appropriate to raise director fees and benefits.
So since this issue is quite serious right now, let us proceed with the voting session. We now will vote on increasing the director's fee and benefits. Those who agree, please raise your hand. So those who agree to maintain these fees and benefits, please raise your hand.
Okay, all right, Tan Sri. It seems majority of the director are agree with the maintaining the director benefits and fees.
All right. So, is there any issues or objection that want to be raised regarding this matter? All right. So, therefore, I declare that the resolution has been passed by maintaining the director's fee for the year ended 31st December 2021 and the benefits for the upcoming year. So, we will bring this agenda to the upcoming AGM. Next, let's proceed to the next agenda regarding the resignation of auditor from Ernst and Young, Mr. Jimmy Chong with the notice received on the 15th November 2021. I already discussed this matter with Mr. Jimmy Chong through the telephone. Ernst and Young can serve as our auditor because of the auditor rotation and downsizing their audit team. Before we discuss further regarding this matter, I want to know whether we need to update anything to CCM regarding this matter.
Yes, Tan Sri, for Board of Director information, we need to update the new auditor to CCM after the AGM.
Thank you for the information, Ms. Fauzana. We agreed to appoint a new director since Ernst and Young are unable to continue as our auditor. Now we will move to our next agenda, which is the nomination of the new new auditors audit firm.
Yes, we should appoint a new auditor since Ernst and Young Chartered Accounting has reached 7 years maximum of audit rotation and downsizing of their audit team. So I suggest Deloitte Malaysia, Mrs. Sharon Throne, to be appointed as our new auditor.
Due to Ernst Young resignation as our auditor, I already approached KPMG and Deloitte as our new auditors to conduct the required audit and inspection on the book of our company for financial year ended 2022.
What about his permission? If he said no, then we must appoint another auditor. And if we fail to do so, the member shall be the one doing it.
Yes, both of the audit firm agreed to be appointed as our new auditors.
So I suggest Deloitte Malaysia, Mrs. Sharon Throne, to be appointed as our new auditor. Referring to statistics, Deloitte has a better performance compared to other audit firms.
All right. Hence, our auditor, Mrs. Sharon Thorne, the auditor of the Deloitte Malaysia, has been suggested as our auditor for the coming year. With regards to this, I would like to ask the approval of all of you. If you all agree with Deloitte Malaysia as suggested to be appointed as our new auditor, please raise your hand if you agree with this.
Alright, seem all agree Deloitte Malaysia as our new auditor, Tan Sri.
Right, good. So I conclude that the resolution to approve Deloitte Malaysia as our new auditor as suggested is passed. Thus, the suggestion of the new auditor will be presented in our next AGM. Alright, next we continue to agenda 5, which is to get the authority to issue shares pursuant to the section 75 and 76 of the Companies Act 2016. So Ms. Fauzana, can you please elaborate on this?
Yes, Tan Sri. According to the Section 75 of the Company Act 2016, the director will only be able to issue share only if they get approval by way of resolution by the company.
Isn't Section 76 another related section for Section 75? As far as I'm aware, it's all about the approval. Ms. Fauzana might be able to provide some light on this.
Yes, Dr. Mokhtar is right. The approval may be limited to a particular exercise of that power or may apply to the exercise of that power in general. And such approval may be unconditional or subject to conditional. According to Section 76, also the approval shall be lodged with the registrar within 14 days from the date of the approval.
As to hit our group objective, we are planning to enlarge our company and provide more variety of service. Due to this, we require a huge amount of funds for the purpose of enlargement. Our company is risk averse. It was suggested for the company to get the funds by issuing the shares to the public as compared to getting the debt. I believe the public will support us as the fund was used to enlarge the company business. Investors who buy shares from our company will become shareholder and earn investment gain if the stock price rises in value or if the company pays a dividend.
Thank you for your explanation, Ms. Fauzana and Mr. Nathan. So in this regard, I would like to notify everyone that the shares that will be issued will be the same as those authorized at the last AGM. Is there anyone who has any thought or concerns about this? If you have, please raise your hand. Okay, so no objection or comments, which means that this agenda has approved and will be presented to the members at the upcoming AGM. Next agenda is to discuss the circular to the shareholders in relation to the proposed amendment to the constitution of the company. Ms. Fauzana, can you explain further about this?
Yes, Tan Sri, we need to amend some clauses that related to the pursuant to member meeting to be conducted virtually and non-application of par value.
As far as I know, in order to amend or alter the company's constitution, the company needs to pass a special resolution. Is it right?
Yes, the Company Act 2016 set out certain procedure which allow the alteration of constitution by the company. According to Section 36, amendment of a constitution require a passing of a special resolution, which require a majority vote of 75% of shareholders who are eligible for vote.
So first regarding matters pursuant to members meeting to be conducted virtually, does anyone have suggestion on this?
I have a suggestion about this matter. I suggest we should amend clause 59 in relation to technology to be used for purpose of this clause. As we all know that during CMCO, we cannot do physical meetings. So I suggest that we should add a subsection under this clause. First, technology use must allow communication with the chairperson, directors, other members and advisors at the same time in general meeting. The technology can be telephone, video conferencing or others.
I agree with Dato' Mokhtar. I also have suggestion to add subsection under clause 59. There are two conditions need to meet before and when physical or virtual meeting occur, which is first, all members that attend the general meeting need to receive a notice of the physical or virtual meeting. Second is the member also can remotely participate, speak and vote at the physical or virtual meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Wota and Mr. Nathan, for your suggestion. Any other suggestion or objection on this matter? Okay, now we proceed to the second matter on non-application of the par value. Does anybody have any idea on this?
In my opinion, we should alter the clause 110 start with to issue any shares of the company as fully or partly paid up and to invest and deal with the monies of the company after that remain the same.
Alright, thank you, Puan Sri. Any objection? Alright, so with this, we conclude that the first matter will be clause 59 that changes into subsection. Clause 59.1, which is the same as clause 59. Then the clause 59.2 and 59.3, which Datuk Mokhtar and Mr. Datan has suggested. As for the clause 110, will alter the sentence only. So Ms. Fauzana, please take note on this matter and alter and then send it back to me, the completed one with details. We will bring this to the AGM for voting.
Yes, Tan Sri, I will.
Now we move on the one of the significant agenda regarding Mr. Yoh Waso, indemnity that concerns the possibility of the legal action against him by third parties. Can you explain in detail about what actually happened in this issue, Mr. Yoh Waso?
Okay, as we plan to implement a career fair with third-party ABA planner to find the best candidate for our company's new recruitment of fresh graduate from various university participation. However, we need to cancel the program due to COVID-19 and Malaysia Movement Control (MCO). Furthermore, we also received a negative response from ABA planner regarding this matter. and the possibility to file legal action against me and Maju Bertiga Berhad for breaching the contract and agreement to implement the career fair.
From the detailed explanation of the issue, we are charged for the legal action. So can we use our indemnity and insurance to cover the possibility of loss incurred? Can you explain more regarding this matter, Miss Fauzana?
Yes, point three. Our company is protected by comprehensive commercial insurance from AIA Malaysia to protect from unfortunate incidents for a 1 year coverage period and need to newly and annually.
Hence, this does not arise from individual negligence and the decision made by the Mr. Yoato is favor for the best interest of the company. The indemnity should lead action charges against Mr.
From Companies Act, are we eligible to claim any amount for indemnity in this issue? Can you state any relevant section, if any, Ms. Fauzana?
Yes. Refer to Company Act. A company may compensate an office for any cost incurred by him in respect of any proceeding that related to the liability for any act in his capacity of officer.
Thank you, Ms. Fauzana, for the explanation. We settle this agenda. So next, let's proceed to the another agenda. Next agenda is about the letter of demand. On the 24th November 2021, we had received the letter of demand from our subsidiary Maju Bina Sedia Berhad due to outstanding debt with an amount of RM 652,500 owed to the kumpulan Kencana Berhad. Ms. Fauzana, can you explain more about the letter of the demand?
Sure, Tan Sri. The letter recorded that our subsidiary had made altogether 3 times of credit purchase for steel in current year, which were on 27 June 2021, 24 July 2021, and 30 August 2021. In addition, Kumpulan Kencana Berhad was only given 14 days to pay the full amount before the legal action was taken to us. As today was 3 December 2021, we only have 5 days left to settle the debt.
Alright, Ms. Fauzana. So, Datuk Mohtar, do you have any idea about this letter of demand? Is that statement true? Did you follow up on this?
Yes, Tan Sri. After getting confirmation between the procurement department and accounting department for our subsidiary, they agreed to this business transaction. The invoice code for these three credit purchases were 001111, 001314, and 001810, with total debt was 652,500, same as the amount mentioned in the letter of demand. Thus, this letter of demand was correctly stated.
Why will this happen to our subsidiary company? As everything was followed with the company policy, paying the debt, does the late payment issue should not be arise?
Actually, our subsidiary Maju Bina Sdn Berhad was facing financial problem. This is due to COVID-19 that happened during the year the government applied the MCO. Thus, the construction and development industry, including our subsidiary company, was not able to start running their work and no income during that period.
After reviewing the quarterly financial report of Maju Bina Sdn Berhad as at 31st September 2021, I found out that the subsidiary company was having losses during the year. I was proposed to stop the operation of Maju Bina Sdn Berhad as the loss can be cut down. This will give more benefit for our group financial statements. Is that a good idea, Datuk Mokhtar?
I did not agree with your opinion. This is because Maju Bina Sdn Berhad was generating almost 55% total revenue for the group. Thus, their revenue was considered major revenue for the group. In addition, before the COVID-19 pandemic, Maju Bina Sdn Berhad was able to generate the greatest income. And I believe in continuing years after the COVID-19, Maju Bina Sdn Berhad will keep their good performance. So, cutting down the operation of Maju Bina Sdn Berhad was not a good decision.
Okay, Dr. Mokhtar, I understand the current situation. Now we are proceeding to vote whether to fund Maju Bina Sdn Berhad with paying the debt by RM 625,000 to Kumpulan Kencana Berhad. Raise your hand as agreed with it.
I have a question regarding the date for the letter of demand. As before mentioned, we are only remaining 5 days to pay for the debt before the legal action was taken. Is there enough time for us to process to make the payment?
I think the time was not enough. However, I will present for the group to discuss this issue with Kumpulan Kacana Berhad, Managing Director, in order to extend the date for the debt payment. Okay, so we had settled this agenda on this board meeting. So the next item on the agenda is to approve the notice of annual general meeting. As I was informed before that Ms. Fauzana already emailed the draft of the notice of AGM to all of the board of directors. If any of you did not receive the draft, please raise your hand so that Ms. Fauzana can resend the email regarding the draft of AGM. Is that okay, Ms. Fauzana?
Yes, Tan Sri, I already emailed the draft. Sure. Tan Sri, is there anyone who has not yet received the email I sent? Alright, that means everyone already received the email I sent before. You may proceed with the agenda, Tan Sri.
Thank you, Ms. Fauzana. Now you may refer to the draft in the email. The agenda will be discussed regarding the 6 significant following matters. First is ordinary business about the approval of audited financial statement. Second is re-election of directors. Fee or benefits of the directors. Fourth is about nomination of the auditors audit firm. As for the special business, first is authority to issue shares section 75 and 76, and second is the amendment of the constitution. This matter required approval from our shareholders through the voting process. Yes, Dr. Wata, you may ask any question.
Since the AGM will be held on 20 January 2022, may I know when the notice of AGM will be issued and distributed to our shareholders?
Referring to our constitution, the notice of AGM should be given to the members at least 14 days before the meeting and at least 21 days before the meeting for any special resolution business proposed in AGM. So for our 35th AGM involved with the special resolution, so we need to issue the notice of GM 21 days before 20 January 2022.
Yes, I can confirm that, Guan Sri. Thank you for your explanation regarding this detail on my behalf. I will update the date of the draft of notice of AGM and will issue the notice of AGM to the member on 15 December 2021.
Okay, most welcome, Ms. Fauzana.
So will you all be available on that day? If in doubt, please raise your hand.
I was available on that day. However, I will only stay until 3 p.m. This is because I have another meeting after 3:30 p.m.
I am free on that day and available to attend on that time.
Yes, I also available on that day.
Alright, so we will have our 35th AGM on 20 January. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, we decided to conduct a meeting through a virtual platform by Microsoft Teams.
So if there is no further questions, I assume that all of us approve this agenda regarding the notice of AGM for our 35th AGM. Right, thank you, Ms. Fauzana. You may update on the draft of the notice of AGM after the end of the board meeting.
Okay, Tan Sri, I will update some information in the draft of notice of AGM and send it to you all and shareholders.
Right, thank you. If there is no more question, we will then proceed with the voting session. Please raise your hand if you have no objection. Okay, so we have approved this agenda in this board meeting in order to have an AGM on 20th January 2022 at 10 a.m. So our last agenda is about other matters. So Ms. Fauzana, so far is there any problem or issues that we must discuss before we end our meeting?
So far, no for me, Tan Sri.
How about from other directors?
I think there is no other important issue arrive. In the meantime, thus we can end off the meeting.
We agree.
Thank you, Dr. Mokhtar. As there is no other issues that need to be clarified here, therefore we will proceed to the end of the meeting. As we had settled all of the agenda through this board meeting, as a review of the board meeting today, Ms. Fauzana, could you please conclude what we have discussed today?
Sure, Tan Sri. Based on our meeting today, we have resolved all 10 agenda. To summarize it, the audited financial statement approved by the board, the report statement related to financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2021 of the company had been passed by the board. The second is the board agreed to re-elect Mr. Nathan after his retirement and declared not to fill the vacancy of director for the upcoming AGM. The board declared the resolution has been passed by maintaining the director fees for the year ended 31st December 2021 and the benefit for the upcoming year. The board approved the resignation of Ernst & Young auditor and suggests to appoint Deloitte as new auditor. Fifth, the board approved the authority to issue shares pursuant to Section 75 and 76 of the Company Act 2016. The board has proposed amendment involving clause 59 and 110 in relation to mode of meeting and no par value. Seven is the board has approved the indemnity and insurance against Mr. Yo Waso. The eighth is the letter of demand will be sent to Kumpulan Kencana Berhad to extend the date for the debt payment as the board agreed to. The ninth is the board has agreed to have the AGM on 20 January 2022 at 10 a.m. The board had approved the notice of AGM.
Alright, thank you, Ms. Fauzana, for the conclusion. If there is no other question that needs to be discussed, I would like to look for a motion to adjourn.
I propose that the meeting be adjourned.
I seconded the proposal.
So I now declare that this board meeting stands adjourned. So thank you all of you for attending to this meeting. Stay safe and stay healthy. Our meeting has ended now. Thank you.